when did you realize art was for you?
When I was in pre-K, as soon as I could draw and cut. So I've been an artist my whole life.
Art, like arts and crafts kind of activity?
My mom allowed me a lot of freedom to be able to do art. And so I got to be creative at home all the time. And my elementary public schools, way back in the day, had art classes. So every week we got to go to art class. And so I'm sure that all helped too.
Do you believe all schools should have some sort of like a art class or like incorporate a type of art, like high school and like all schools in general?
Absolutely. And you have to start young, because what I find, especially in Compton, when they don't have the required art classes, elementary teachers aren't all equipped to be able to incorporate art into their lesson plans, and so they don't. And so if they don't have a designated teacher, the kids don't get to use that side of their brain as much. And it's really beneficial for critical thinking, problem-solving skills, all the really good skill development that you need to do all these other things, memorization, everything that they make you do when you get older. And then junior high, by the time you get to junior high, if you haven't had art
experience.
You're less likely to want to try that, because you're starting to realize, I can fail, and that's not cool. And then by the time you get to high school, they often have some sort of art elective, but unless you've had some sort of experience, rarely are you going to put yourself out there and try something like that.
Yeah.
And so starting it at the youngest age possible is best, because then it gives you the confidence to want to do that in junior high and high school and moving forward.
Yeah, because that's kind of like what I want to achieve with this. Because when people hear like, art group, they're thinking like, I don't know how to draw. Like, it's not for me. I don't know how to paint. Like, it's just like, we're going to be boring. But that's why I kind of want to incorporate like different types of art, like kind of like music and sketching, murals, painting, watercolor, like everything. And just like make that safe space, but also use it as a coping mechanism for like stress, anxiety, PTSD, depression. So that leads to my next question. Do you think art benefits people? Because I know you kind of answered it, but...
Absolutely. And like you just said too, a lot of it is the mental health aspect of it. You can use art. I mean, there's art therapy. You don't have to be a therapist to be able to incorporate some of those skills or teaching... teaching methods. Like you can put on music and put on calm music and say, just draw something. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be abstract, it can be real, whatever. Because I don't draw realism. I can't. So a lot of my art is abstract, or I'm a graphic designer, so I'll do a lot of the compilation of the imagery on my computer. And so there's a lot more technology out there now too that allows people to feel a little more confident in it, I think. But also like that de-stressing, like I always talk about how I'm not a social painter, because I get lost in what I'm painting when I'm doing the murals and stuff. And I forget that I should be interacting with the people around me sometimes. So I'm like de-stressing, and I'm in my own little world, and I'm having a great time, and it's relaxing, and that's what art should be. It shouldn't cause you stress. It shouldn't be a right or a wrong answer. Like it's what you want it to be. So yeah.
And then I guess, like, as the last question to close it off, do you think art is for everybody?
Yes, absolutely. I get the response a lot of, but I don't know how to draw, like you said, or I don't know how to do this. And it's like, but there's so many ways to express yourself, and art isn't necessarily a specific medium or theme or anything like that. Like it can be whatever you want. It can be gardening. Gardening is art. Baking is art. Like there's so many different kinds of art. It doesn't have to be drawing. It doesn't have to be painting. But those are kind of the only ones that oftentimes we're given experience with. Or like when companies come into the district, a lot of times it's not relevant for the kids that are there. So like finding artists that they can relate to, and then doing a project inspired by them, but it doesn't have to be the same. Or doing collage where then they can tell a story through what they're doing. Or it's a way of getting to know someone too. And so, but yes, art is for everyone. And so many people say, well, I used to like to do art or whatever, right? And now I'm old and I'm not good at it. Well, try a different kind.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're not in that world, or you're not, quote unquote, a creative, like, you may not be able to think outside the box of what else you could do that could become an art form or a creative outlet or whatever. And so that's why what you're doing is so important, to give other students like an experience or a little taste of all these different things that they could possibly. Yeah, exactly.